Welcome back to Project Ozone 3 KAPPA mode. Today, to get started, we're going to be looking at some lava setups, and first of all, let's go and show you that, because I needed quite a lot of lava today, because we're going to be looking at Draconium. So I've got all these crucibles here. First thing to do is craft yourself a conduit probe, and you can shift scroll wheel to change its modes. You want to go into the orange mode, you can shift right click and then right click to copy and paste stuff, i.e. the node configuration from this. You can copy and paste all the way along without doing any work. And you can see here we are basically extracting cobblestone into lots and lots of crucibles. And all the way at the end we've got a ender tank, and you can see it's not really currently keeping up with demand, is it? So we may need even more of these. I'm already feeding in cobble fairly fast, and again you can see it's being pulled out as fast as it can be produced. So yeah, we pretty much are going to need just more crucibles to get more lava. Anyway, what are we doing with the lava, you might say, or you might ask? Well, we're going down here and we're using it. I set all these out thinking we're going to need lots of these things, and then it turns out, no, they're pretty fast. So I've got one thing here producing netherrack, and another thing here producing endstone. Both of them are basically fed by redstone and by glowstone from our AE2 system. They're going through an export bus, and then being fed from the back from these ender tanks, which is from our lava setup upstairs. So you can see I can, for example, shut off the netherrack, and with only one of them running, well, it actually keeps up. Should more than keep up, in fact. Yep, it does. So yeah, two of these setups are obviously not enough for that. So yeah, we've got to take a view of that later. Now, with both of those things, netherrack and endstone, we can use them to make the sort of components we're going to need to get towards Draconium. First of all, crushed endstone is the thing we need. You can see I've got endstone here. If we crush it, we can turn it into, obviously, crushed endstone. And then if we sieve that, we'll get Draconium. So right now, we already have unlimited Draconium, but we have to basically hammer the stuff, which is kind of annoying and awful, potentially. Okay, so if that's the problem, then what do we do to get around it? Well, we can actually convert some normal endstone to crushed endstone with a different process. We can use a hammer, or we can use an auto dissolver. I was going to say discoverer, auto dissolver, and that takes water and it takes energy and it converts endstone into crushed endstone. Not particularly fast. I've got to say it's 20 ticks, so that's like 1 per second. So I'm not convinced, but the only other option is basically a hammer, so anything's better than that as far as that's concerned. So yeah, I guess we're gonna have to do that. The other thing is also crushed netherrack. Okay, crushed netherrack we can make by another method. We can just put it through, I think it's not crushed netherrack itself, it's sieving it. We can put a double compressed version to get what we want out, so I'll come back to that in a second. But the long and the short of it is we want ardite and cobalt out of it because let's take a look at this. We need basically modularium. Okay, and modularium is made with vibrant alloy, which in turn is made with ardite. It's made with electrotine alloy, which you already know how to make, and it's made with vivid alloy, and the vivid alloy is made with cobalt. So you need one source of netherrack, pretty much unlimited, to make these two things, and so that's worthwhile looking at. And then energetic silver, it's going to need more bits and pieces, electrum, and similarly down here the energetic is going to need similar kind of things, electrum and redstone and glowstone. So lots and lots of resources. So we're going to need that. Now, why the modularium? Well, because that auto dissolver thing is a modular machinery item, and unfortunately, it takes 29 reinforced machine casings. Now, each one of those takes 4 normal machine casings, so that is pretty much 120 machine casings. That's 4 times that to get the amount of modularium. So we're going to need hundreds of modularium. And modularium, if we have a look, is this. Now, it does convert over, so 1-to-1-ish from each of these. So, yeah, if we'd need like 500 vibrant, 500 vivid, and 500 electrotine. That's not the actual problem, it's these two. So, to get actual further autocrafting going in our system, what we're going to need to do is probably craft some Ender IO machines. And we'll want them to basically be alloy smelters, not necessarily this enhanced version. The normal version is fairly fine. And we'll have them set out with auto crafting machines such that they can, or like we'll have one dedicated for energetic, one dedicated for this and for that, and we'll have them set up that way. So we need to get them crafted, and that's something I'll do off camera, but then we'll hook them up to the AE2 system and get them so that they now work. Now, I'm not sure if I showed you already, but I may have showed you last episode, but I already have the interfaces over here to craft the pure crystals. They're relatively easy to actually do. You just throw them into the crystal growth chamber and extract out only the things that you want back out of it. Yep, I've not needed the third type yet, so that's fine. And I don't think I've got anything else in A2 just yet to show you. I need to obviously put some more modular machinery over there. But right now, it's some Ender.io crafting off camera. So I did some rechecking. We don't need that much Modularium, actually. I overestimated by about 4 times, just because I thought it would need 4 times as much to get to the reinforced kind. So I went and automated stuff anyway, so I've now got 2 all alloy smelters. You can see I've got recipes in here. If you want to double the speed, put the same recipe in both alloy smelters, but in this case, I'm just using 1. All the various alloys for different kinds of things are all in here and automated now. Same thing in here, we've got sag mills going. They will help towards the sort of crystalline capacitors for the regular kind of capacitors and stuff like that. And then here we've got something that looks a little odd. This thing is basically our furnace sort of automation. So this thing will make the red alloy and electrine alloy ingots from the prerequisite stuff and just dump them straight into here. This is a magic box as far as the A2 system is concerned. It's just basically a furnace box as far as that's concerned. And of course, we're not going to use alloy furnaces when we have those incredibly fast versions that are around somewhere that I never seem to find. They're in one of these areas anyway, but let's go over here and see if we can complete this multi-block. So I went for the reinforced tier of item inputs and outputs and fluid inputs and outputs and stuff like that. Let's just put this in place, and that looks like it's accepted it. So yes, we now have auto dissolver, and that means we should be able to get some other stuff. So let me just see, do I have any infinite water sources left, or can I just make one infinite water? Not you, but you. I'm missing a couple of buckets worth of water. Let me just go and grab one of the existing ones, and I'll recraft it later once I figure out where it is. Here it is over here. You will do for now. Yep, just borrow you. So this thing, of course, does need water, and we're also going to need energy and then some endstone. And let's see if that actually does the job. So how much endstone have we got so far? We've got 37,000. And let's just get Spectre Coil. Okay, so let's just go for our regular 1K one. Just need another ingot. There we go. And there's our Spectre Coil. I did also get plenty of netherrack from the whole processing thing. That all went into crushed, so I'll show you that now. Back here, mob farm noises. Back here, that's being output into this compactor, which is set to 3x3 only. This next one across is set to 3x3 only as well, so that produces double compressed netherrack, which goes straight into the back of a sag mill. So I've shut it down right now. This is not using redstone because I don't have a lot of redstone right now, so because I was using it all. But it did actually make me a whole bunch of netherrack, which made me a whole bunch of ardite and cobalt. So let me look at ardite. I've now got 148 because I used a bunch of it, but cobalt is nearly 500. So yeah, I used a lot of the ardite for the modularium crafting. What was going to go from there? There was one more thing I wanted to show you just so that you had that running. Was it down here? I forget. What did I actually want to show you all? I did set something new up. I'll come back to it. Mine's gone blank. Anyway, so let's just get this going. Item output, fine, and fluid input. So fluid input is presumably going to be water. Let's just dump that there. And then we want some input items. So can we just go straight into here? That's the output. So let's put them on the input. Okay, that's some items. Not enough energy. Okay, so then we just dump that onto the back right there. And that should be enough energy, hopefully, to get this started. There we go. So it's processing, and it's processing at a rate of 1 every 2 seconds, 1 every 1.5 seconds. And we get crushed endstone, which is exactly what we want. And then all we need to do with that is our usual thing, which is just basically, hey, just dump it into our system, please. There's my item translocator, and off you go. So we will then need to create an export into the system on this side. But otherwise, this will process and start producing crushed endstone. I remembered what I wanted to show you now. In here, I had a tip from a commenter, thank you very much, you know who you are, who basically said, don't forget with the material stone factories to actually equip the energy upgrades as well as the speed upgrades. Now, I thought, like most mods, an energy upgrade is just more efficient, which is good, but not exactly what this does. So you can look at its normal speed, and then with one energy upgrade, and with two energy upgrades, you can see just how much faster it's actually producing dust in this case. And dust is the prime thing that gets us redstone, so very happy to have spotted that tip today. You know who you are. Thank you very much. Nice nugget of wisdom. So we've got sand lots and gravel I hardly ever need because I don't need that many diamonds right now. But dust is the main thing, and that's the shortage of redstone. It's building back up, I think. How much redstone have we got? 3,500. Yeah, it's building up, but I would like to have, like, 20,000. That would be much more comfortable. So right now we should be getting crushed endstone, or we should have some crushed endstone. Yep, there it is. So then all we really need to do is do the usual sort of things for this. We want endstone. Okay, let's get some yellow. Yellow something or other. Oh, dandelion, daffodil. What's it called? Dandelion? No. I'm going to need something that is coloured yellow. I'm going to get some more from the Twilight Forest. There we go. I've got some yellow, and if I just basically put these three yellows down, they are basically hooked up to that dissolver, and then we can just use our typical kind of approach of having this export system going. There we go, and hook you up. Yep, and tell the system to export endstone into here, and I'll just throw in some acceleration cards. Off it goes. It's going to dump in all of our endstone, and that means every endstone bit that we have is going to get converted into crushed endstone. So if you need some endstone, you might want to keep a little bit out in just like a small chest somewhere, just like this. This will do, just in case I have any building construction, and of course I can shut the system off later if I need to. This is going to start already populating our system over here, which is working. Definitely. And that's processing. So yeah, we can't really see inside as far as that's concerned. It's just like a multi-block, but it is working, so there's no problem here. That's got full water, so everything's good. These machines are getting bigger. So the next one up after that you probably want to think about is crafting the auto sieve. This is even bigger than it's like 5x5x4, so it's going to come from here, like all the way out to here, and be like next to the top of that. So it's quite a big block to actually get going, but once it's going, that's good. And for this one, I want to say that that's not too hard, because the machine casing, now that we can just type in just Modularium, it will just make it for us. One thing I wanted to actually talk about, though, or rather a puzzle for you guys. I like putting these puzzles in because, one, if I can't find a solution, I'm sure one of you guys can. One of the things you're supposed to be able to do is craft even when you've got items. Now, what you can do is just change this to craftable and do it that way. Okay, but what you should be able to do, or used to be able to do, at least in other packs, is middle click or shift middle click to actually get to the dialog box that will let you make even more. So if I remove this and just left click, you can see I get to the dialog box. If I middle click when it's empty, nothing happens. I've tried disabling anything that's bound to middle click in the controls. I've tried to disable things like mouse tweaks and other stuff like that. No idea why it doesn't work, but it doesn't work for me. Let me know if you find otherwise, or if you remember exactly what it is. But yeah, you should be able to craft without having to go into craftable only and then back this way and stuff like that. So yeah, that would be handy to have. But yeah, you can see we've got plenty of other stuff to be getting on with. So what that should be doing for us now is then we should have the crushed endstone. Okay, the crushed endstone here, and I'm just going to take a little bit of it out, and then what I'm going to do is go and put it in the other export. We've got one down here, this one in particular. It's going to need a capacity card and not these acceleration cards. Yeah, because what that does is that puts that in our sifter. So if we get a capacity card, not a capacitor, I've got capacitors on the brain today. A capacity card, there we go. We should be able to put more stuff in the export then, and keep 3 of the 4 sort of acceleration cards, And there we go. So we can put more stuff in, and then we can set that there. And then that should dump everything from getting the system, the crushed endstone. Yep, you can see it's not there anymore. And we should start seeing, hopefully, at some point soon, more and more Draconium and or Draconium dust, depending on what actually comes out of it. So let's take a look at that crushed endstone. In fact, crushed endstone. So if we process that, if we sieve it, it's going to be going through diamond. So we should be getting a 9% drop chance of the ore pieces. And those are automatically already moved into Draconium, which should automatically then be dropped into the furnaces. So we should start seeing Draconium ingots going up. And I think I had 19 or 16. Okay. So I just have to watch that for a little while and make sure that's actually processing. The other thing that can happen in here is that because this is continually providing dust now, if I don't shut it off, it will not pull from this chest and get pulled into the system. So got to be a little bit more careful there, but we'll see how well this does. We may need to speed it up, of course, but the whole process is now essentially automatic as long as the glowstone lasts. And of course, if you want the netherrack, as long as your redstone lasts. So you want to upgrade those material stonework factories as much as you possibly can. And there we go. We're starting to gain a little bit of Draconium. If we go and have a look down in here, I've got the system on at the moment. So let's just see if it actually is processing. Yep. There's the crushed stone being pulled in, being sifted. And if we go over here, you'll see on the back side of this, I've put in a fluid trash can, deals with the output, and the output is sludge. You can use sludge. Here it is. You can use it, and in most of the industrial foregoing machines, it doesn't need to be output. It will just continue going. But on this particular modular stuff, it does need to be output. Everything will stop otherwise. You can reprocess it into clay, into dirt and other stuff. But there's like a, if I remember rightly, there's like a bad effect around this when you get close to it, when it's actually refining sludge. I didn't bother. I'm just going to put it into a fluid trash can, and that just voids it. So this should now be processing. There we go. And everything should be good. So yeah, I like that a lot. All right, so that's now processing my Draconium, or at least giving me some Draconium over time. And there we go, we've got 4 more there. So yeah, not much at the moment, but that's probably one of the mid-game bottlenecks. So having something running to constantly produce that as much as possible is good for me. The other thing to take a look at this episode is just a quick replacement for the wireless tablet we had for the RF tool stuff. And we can make the sort of the modded version of this, the wireless crafting terminal 2 mod, and that should actually take over. Thanks very much to commenters as well, who basically, well, no one's pretty much suggested a solution with the RF Tools one, so we're going to have to go with one of these instead. And that means a few things. Well, one, I need some more signal, but that's not going to be hard. And then, so let's just see what else we need. And also these infinity boosters, you get them from killing the wither and stuff like that. So you also had booster cards, if I remember rightly, and the alternative. There we go. Yeah, so whilst booster in A2, you stack more and more of them. It increases the range further and further and further, but the infinity booster card from A2 wireless terminals just invalidates it and makes it cross-dimensional, apparently. So, well, let's go and craft one and let's see how well it actually works. So yeah, I've got a few bits and pieces. I've got the Fluix Pearl, I've got the ME crafting terminal, which means I just need to make maybe another terminal or so, or bits and pieces, yeah, that kind of stuff. And some more of these, yeah. So lots of iridium. Oh, I may be actually short of iridium. I don't think I have it. How much iridium do I have in the system? No, should be fine. The other thing I want to actually make as well is an immersive engineering metal press, because I'm sick of hammering stuff manually on that. So I probably will put another row of machines in this kind of area, maybe in front here or something like that, keeping immersive engineering in line here, and having a couple of metal presses. One with the plate press, which is the most common one that you need. I think there's another one maybe for the sort of it's like the recipe you get to with shears to cut plates up. So if you use like copper plate, it's not the wire recipe, I think I remember rightly. Yeah, so this copper wire, it can be produced using a metal press mold, so you don't have to go through the plate stage, and you get 2 out of every ingot, so it's pretty good. So I'm going to craft those, and we'll see if I can get to the point of a wireless crafting terminal. And hopefully we may need a security terminal and other bits and pieces like a wireless broadcaster or whatever they're actually called. So I'll go and put them together, and we'll see whether everything works without, you know, more mods. Yeah, of course, I'm not going to get away that easily. The wireless crafting terminal I've crafted, it says unlinked, not installed, not installed. The Infinity Booster card I've got, but I can't really open this until it's linked, as far as I know. And to link it, you need the ME security station. Now, this is where we get full-on other mods coming in place. I think it's this one anyway. If not, then it'll be a waste of components. But that needs 4 security stations from Pneumaticraft, and some plastic and printed circuit boards, which is quite expensive for each one of these. I need 4 of these. So I need 12 of these expensive capacitors. Annoying, but still there. And then we need some grey plastic, and we need some other bits and pieces, including a 16K one, which is 3 more of those capacitors, and also an ME chest, which is other bits and pieces. So plenty for me to craft. If I just take this out for a second, I need to get those turbine blades. That's what basically just crafting with Pneumaticraft, and then we can craft the rest of the bits and pieces once I have enough plastic coming in from my plastic setup. So I need to set that up, and I'll bring you back, well, in a few minutes. Took a little bit of plastic making, but now we have enough for the ME security terminal. Craft that out of the way, and we can just put it anywhere, pretty much, as long as it's connected to the network. I don't think we need to worry too much about it, so let's just put it down here for now. It's only got 7 channels, so let's just dump that there. Okay, and this should then be able to let us link a wireless terminal, which is in the charger, and then just bring that into place. There it is. Yeah, you fully charged? You are. Okay, and then we should be able to link our system together. So if we just drop you in here, you are now linked. Good. So if I, whoops, pick it up. There we go. Wireless at a range. We need a wireless access point, if I remember rightly. So can we just put that anywhere in the system? Looks like we can. It should find a channel in a second. And there we have the booster cards. So we may need to get those boosters going, but let's just, first of all, see where that's available. It is. So now we can get access to that. And you can see, I can see all my other things there. But if I just use this, will it let me... Yep, it'll let me use the Infinity Booster card. And now normally this would only have a certain range. It's like 16 by default. Let's see if we can actually do it without the booster cards in the other end. Yes, we can. So we are farther away than that actually should be able to actually serve us right now. And yes, we don't need any of this. Now, there is an upgrade to the wireless crafting terminal. You can use that in combination with the wireless interface terminal to get the ultimate wireless ultimate terminal with those 2 modules in it. I don't typically need the interface terminal as much, but that is another option as well. However, I do want to do the ultimate thing to this, at least for the moment, which is to say I need this to not go away when I die. So 1 Spectre anchor later. Hopefully this won't actually stop it from working or anything like that. Yep, there we go, anchored. So that is safe enough to use. And then we can set this up in the same way that we could before. Let me just remove that for a second. So sort by number of items, store craftable, J synchronized standard keep is fine. And yeah, everything is fine. Okay, so with that in place, what are these down here? Interesting. Need to go and look at what those are. Maybe someone in the comments can let me know. If not, I'll let you know next episode once I've looked it up, or remember to. So yes, everything is now working. We've got our system producing more plastic. I don't think I need the grey plastic anymore, so I'm going to go and put that on a different colour or something like that. Let me just deselect that for the moment. And we should be good to go. So now we have wireless crafting from anywhere. Our system available from anywhere. Let me just double check if it is cross-dimensional already. Let's go and just jump in the Twilight Forest. Easiest place to get to make sure we can access our system. There we go, Twilight Forest, and yep, our system's still accessible. Now, one of the things I have been noticing, just because I've been getting lots and lots of redstone, is that our system is filling up. And our system is filling up from the if I have a look over here, from the storage bus that we've got on our existing system here. You'll see a lot of these are filling up now. And that means they're also then filling up the drives. So the one other thing you want to be able to do at certain points is, one, you can just put more emerald upgrades in there. That's fine for the moment. However, you're going to want to have, I think it's called IO ports. IO ports? Spatial IO port, ME IO port. That's the one I actually want. So this lets you... Oh, it's going to take 2 ME drives. Oh, no. Okay. I'll come back to that another time. Anyway, what does it do? It basically lets you take the drives out of here and then put them back in to the system. But when you do it, it will do it in such a way that then it goes and tries again to pass back through the storage bus that we got down here. So we can then make sure that everything is stored in here that should be stored in here. Which then obviously makes more room in your cards. So it's a sort of clear out exercise. But you can see here, these are nearly full and the types are nearly full. 4K drives aren't too much of a problem to actually get at the moment, so I can continue doing that. There's a 4K crafting storage. I replaced that's one thing to show you. I did replace in the CPUs down here, this with a 16K crafting storage, just so that if I crafted like hundreds of something, like Modularium, for example, that requires thousands of bytes of crafting storage to be able to go and craft all the subcomponents and everything else. So yeah, you want to upgrade at least one of your CPUs to start to have a higher crafting storage, and we're good to go. Yeah, so I think that's good enough for today. It's going to maybe slightly shorter than normal, maybe. I need to check the timestamps. But otherwise, we've got Awakened Draconium. Let's just see what we finish on this episode. We started on with pretty much nothing, and now we're on 3 stacks. So I can just leave it running in the background. Of course, we are going to need to then take that yeah, that's going to take pyrotheum, which we can of course make, which is stuff we already have, to be honest. We should be able to get lots of that. And just magma crucible and fluid transposer, we can make this neutral steel of the 1st degree, which is then used in various ways to get to prudentium and upwards through the tiers as far as that's concerned. So 4 draconium for this. So if I've got 3 stacks, that's going to be pretty much 3/4 of a stack or something of prudentium, if we actually decide to convert over. So yeah, I'll need to set up the conversion from pyrotheum and also this for steel down, but I'll do that next episode or something. It's not worth showing you on camera because it is literally just some blazing pyrotheum, some maybe a stop keeping system for it, and then magma crucible, fluid transposer, probably dedicated to the task, and have them, probably more than one of them eventually, essentially upgraded and running fast as we can to fill things with pyrotheum. But for the moment, we are doing pretty well, I think. If you've got any suggestions for what you see coming up, I think we want to get back to blood magic and the magic side of things again soon. Obviously, we've only got them, we've got them in the void, and they're not really doing much right now because it's not really got into that mod. But we do want to get into blood magic and the other side of things fairly soon. The other thing I want to get into over here is that auto sieve. I'll do that off camera because it's exactly the same as this. It's the same kind of crafting. I'll show you that once we get into that and we can get some other bits and pieces through it. So yeah, very, very happy, and of course happy with the extra health we got last episode. So we'll be pretty good once we get through a few of the mods like blood magic to get some really awesome armor, and also Ender IO, and there's other things you can get really good armor from as well. But Awakened Draconium is the sort of end game stuff, I think. There may be like ultimate armors that you can get, but yeah, they're a whole other level of grind. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys. We'll see you next time, and hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, click on the like down below, subscribe as you normally would, and click on the bell for notifications. But otherwise, thanks a lot for watching, and as always, well, we'll see you next time, hopefully. Goodbye.